What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a little work get ready with me. I just started a new job. This is my first job that I've ever had. I'm going to be having it for the summer before I go to college, and I just love getting ready and looking cute. During the summertime I wear a lot less makeup, but for work it kind of gives me a excuse to do my makeup and look cute and do my hair. So I'm very happy about that. It's very simple. I work at Outback, a restaurant, and I am a host, so I just seat people and reset the tables. Very super simple. I am going for a more clean girl aesthetic, kind of light natural makeup, very glowy. So I just applied the Lumi Glotion. When I still want my skin tone to be even but I'm not going to wear a foundation, I will use this, and this is just like a little bit of a base. It's not a foundation. It's kind of like, it's called a natural glow enhancer. I just use that as kind of like a little thin layer to even out my skin tone on days that I only use concealer. So now I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer and just kind of put it in my T-zone, the very center of my face, just to kind of cover up any under eye bags or any kind of blemishes, any kind of acne scars that I have. So about my job, it is honestly like the simplest thing in the world. So as I said, I'm a host, which pretty much just means people come in and I say, how many? I sit them according to that. That's literally it. In addition, we kind of have to roll silverware and like set the tables up and stuff like that, but it is literally the easiest thing in the world. Also for the shade match, I know that this is way more yellow than my skin tone, but I do not worry about the color of my foundation and concealers that much, just because at the end, once I apply bronzer and my powder and all that kind of stuff, it really does match. So this is a shade I bought a few months ago. Obviously it doesn't match my summer self anymore, but I don't worry about it because I can make it match very well by the end. So trust the process. So as you can see, I've applied it to my under eyes. I'm going to apply just a tiny bit on my chin. This is pretty much my problem area where I have like the most acne. I'm also going to apply just a little bit on my nose because I'm going to apply some nose contour later. And I don't like to apply nose contour on my bare like skin. It doesn't look right. You kind of have to have like foundation or concealer underneath it. Now the key to getting full coverage is I am going to leave that concealer to sit. So I'm going to leave that concealer for a few minutes while I do some other things on my face, because as it sits and kind of dries up just slightly, it becomes more full coverage and it's harder to blend out, which gives you that full coverage. But I am going to blend out some of these little acne pieces just because I'm about to put foundation there and it's in the way. So I'm just going to blend out like these on the outside. Now one little hack that I love is to take a darker concealer shade or foundation shade, anything like that, and just use it as cream or liquid bronzer. You do not have to buy a liquid bronzer if it's super expensive. If you see a $30 liquid bronzer, you can literally just buy a $7 concealer and use that instead. Completely worth it to me. I feel like liquid and cream bronzer, like that kind of thing, is not something that you have to spend a lot of money on, because a lot of the drugstore ones work the same, if not better, than the expensive ones. The bronzer is something that I just never spend a lot of money on. This is very pigmented though, which is why you can see I'm putting just a little bit. I'm putting that on my cheekbones and then just a little bit at the corners of my forehead, just to kind of bronze up my face a little bit. I'm taking a dense foundation brush. I like to use dense brushes, which means not fluffy. This one is fluffy, as you can tell. This one is dense, meaning very compact. I like to use these kind of brushes for my bronzer, just to keep it in the same place. And now I'm just going to go in very quickly because this does dry down fast. I'm going to go in real quick and just blend that out. And now I'm also blending it on my forehead. If you have a big forehead, you can also use this as an illusion to make your forehead smaller. Now this looks absolutely crazy right now. It literally looks like I just put orange on my forehead and on my face. But trust the process. I know what I'm doing, I promise. Just blending that in. Now before my concealer dries down, I don't want it to dry all the way down, so I don't leave that on for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, only like 2 or 3. I'm going to go ahead and start blending it. Always blend in my under eyes last because that's what I want to have the absolute most coverage. So I always start on the perimeter of my face and then I'll go to the under eyes last. I start with a brush for my face, and then I'll always go in with a beauty blender to kind of smooth out those brush lines. And see, this concealer is what helps me to correct the heaviness of the bronzer. I just go in back with that bronzer brush with the remaining leftover product in here. I don't use any more product, and I just diffuse those lines because we don't want a very harsh line. I'm going to blend my nose concealer with a beauty blender just because I don't want that to be very full coverage. I want it to be light. Now once again, going back in with that brush, we're finally going into the under eyes. Connect the dots and leave it where it is. I don't like to take it really far out or anywhere else. Just like that. It took 3 seconds. Kind of tapping it just a little bit. Just enough to connect the dots and get it blended. And then the rest of the blending I will do with my beauty blender. That's what we're looking like. As you can see, we have that brightness in the center. I'm going to go back in with this brush that has very little product on it. I didn't add any more bronzer. I'm just using it as a tool to kind of blend out those concealer lines on the very edge. I do like brushes because they give you more coverage because they don't soak up as much product as a beauty blender uses, but I never feel like I can get 0 lines with a brush. I feel like I can see the streaks. With a beauty blender, I never see the streaks. That's why I'll start with a brush for the coverage, and then I'll finish with a sponge to just get that finish, like the nice smooth skin. Next, I'm going to go in with one more cream product, and that is my E.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Blush. I like this product, one, because it's cheap, but also because it literally gets the job done. It is definitely in that whole clean girl aesthetic, glowy makeup, natural makeup kind of thing. I use this anytime I ever do cream blush, and then also whenever I do clients' makeup, when people have me to do their makeup for special events or for prom or different things like that, I will also use this on them, because cream and liquid products are a way to ensure that your makeup stays on longer. So if you feel like you've noticed that your makeup just does not stay on all day long, part of that reason could be if you don't use cream products. Cream products are just a second way, kind of like a second layer. You have your cream stuff on bottom, and then you have your powder on top. So if by the end of the day your powder stuff, your powder blush, your powder bronzer has wiped off, then underneath that makeup you still have a layer of cream products. And that's how I feel like my makeup stays all day long. Sometimes I have people ask me that question often, how does my makeup stay on so long? And I really don't use setting spray that often. I'll use setting spray if it's prom, if I'm going to be wearing makeup for a special event, or if I really want it to stay, if it's a super hot day, I know I'm going to be outside like the 4th of July, I might wear setting powder for that. But for the most part, I do not wear setting powder, and my makeup stays all day long and still looks fresh at the end of the day. And one thing that I feel contributes to that is the use of cream and liquid products underneath my powder. Now I'm doing my nose contour. I'm using this really raggedy, crusted, dusted, and busted contour wand that I got from Dollar General for like $4. One thing about me is I absolutely do not have to use luxury products. I honestly, my best friend Addie, she's probably watching this, love you Addie, she tells me that I'm a stingy person, and that honestly is pretty true. I do not like to spend my money on expensive things. I would rather get 15 makeup products for $60 than 2 makeup products for $60. So I will use drugstore makeup, I will use cheap makeup, I will do whatever I have to do if it's good quality and it gets me more makeup. So pretty much 90% of my products are drugstore, and this is one of them. Literally got this for Dollar General for $4, and I absolutely love it, and it gets the job done. It's a good idea to look at drugstore products if you're interested in saving a little bit of coin. So that's my nose contour. Very simple. Nose contour is very unique because you have to know your nose shape in order to contour your nose. It is not a universal thing because all nose shapes are different. But I just use a little contour brush. I do a line on the bottom right here. I do a line over the top to create a button nose effect. And then I do a line on the side, a line on this side, and then I just connect the dots. So now we are done with all of our cream and liquid products. Thank the Lord, we're done with that. Now we're going to set it with our powder. We're going to keep this glowy base, but we don't want it to look like it's literally about to melt off and slip all over our face. Because if I did not set my makeup, when I go to work 5 minutes later, it's going to be gone. You have to set your makeup if you want it to stay. Addie, I know you're watching this. I know that you do not hardly set your makeup. Set your makeup if you want it to stay. You have to use powder. If you guys would like an in-depth kind of list of products that I use for my makeup, I'm absolutely down to do that. I can do it in the comments, the description box, or I can make a whole nother video. If you would like to see my drugstore favorites, if you would like to see my favorite makeup, just or just the makeup that I use. I can let you guys know that, because I do know that it can be very helpful to see what products people are using. If you like the way that you see some of my makeup performs on my face and you want it for yourself, just let me know and I can do another video on that as well. The key to setting your under eyes is you don't want creases. So I'm going to blend with my beauty blender. Stay looking up. I've already prepared my brush by dipping it into my powder. Just poured the powder in the lid. I dipped it, tapped it off so there's not a lot of excess and so it won't look cakey. I stay looking up and then I just pounce all over my face. I do it primarily over my under eyes, and then I just brush it a little bit over the rest of that area. Just a light little dusting. Same thing, I tap it into the powder in my cap, blend with my beauty blender to get that crease out. Then I stay looking up and just tap all over. Then I just brush it over the rest of my face. The main places that I am worried about my makeup coming off is of course where that concealer was. So my under eyes, my nose, the middle of my forehead, down here. This is also where you get oily at. So that's really where I'm focusing this powder at. And I'll go in with just a little bit more on the blemishes because I don't want the makeup to slip off and those to start popping out. So that's what we're looking like. And that's what works for me. So now it's time to set those cream products with their powder form. So powder bronzer and powder blush. Bronzer is one of those products that you really don't have to have high end. Like I'll just use any kind of thing that I have in here that I can find. For example, this is a random little palette that I got from TJ Maxx. And this shade just so happens to be perfect for my nose contour. So I'll just use that. This is a random little sample that I got in that Etsy that I've been using right now. Absolutely anything works for bronzer. It is just not the type of product that you need to be expensive. I'm taking a random fluffy brush. This one is angled, as you can see, because it really gets that shape of my jaw. So I'm just using that, tapping in a little bit of the bronzer, tapping that off, and then just dusting it over my face. I'm not using a lot of this. I'm really just using a light little bit to just set. Next, I'm going to do the same thing a little bit with my nose contour. I don't want to make my nose contour darker, so I'm not going to set it that much. But with that TJ Maxx palette that I told you about, literally like $3, I'm just going to use that and just kind of go over my nose contour just a little bit so that it'll stay. And then lastly, to set our liquid product, I'm going to do blush. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a coral kind of bronzy blush. For the most part, I really like pink and red blushes. I like to look like a baby doll. Like I want a bright pink blush. For the summertime, but for a more natural look, I have been using something a little bit more kind of coral / burnt orange. And I just brush that on my cheeks. Really fluffy brush. Pretty much majority of the brushes that I use right now are in the Makeup by Ariel brush set. I asked for this for Christmas. It is a little bit more expensive, but majority of the brushes that I use for my entire makeup career were from Amazon. And when I tell you brushes are another thing you do not have to spend a lot of money on, because the difference in this brush and this brush is not that different. Continuing on with my base, I'm going to go ahead and do my highlight. This is a random Ofra palette that my friend Zoe gave me, so if you're watching this, love you, thank you for this. I absolutely am obsessed with it, and as you can see, I've already hit pan on one of these. I'm just going to kind of mix this pink shade, this rose gold kind of shade, and this gold shade just to mix that and put it literally almost all over my face. First, I'm going to start with my nose. If you do not know how to do nose contour, one way to fake it is just by using highlight. Highlight just gives the illusion of nose contour in a way. So if you don't know how to do nose contour, just highlight the tip of your nose and the bridge of your nose, and that also kind of helps to give that nose contour illusion. And then I'm just going to do a tiny bit on my cheeks. I don't like a lot of highlight on the cheeks just because I feel like, I don't know, I'm just not into that blinding highlight anymore, that 2016 highlight that we all used to love, but I do like it a little bit. So to soften it up, I'm just going to take a darker shade on my finger. I'm not going to get like a super white blinding shade. I'm just going to take a little bit of gold on my finger and just lightly tap that in. Oh, okay. So she's a little blinding. Let me blend that out. Oh my gosh. Okay. Didn't know that was gonna look like that one with the crap. Okay, she's blinding, but I don't have to do. I'm just gonna take a clean brush and just blend that out because I do not want it to be streaky. That is one thing you do not want with highlight, is you do not want it to look like a streak. You want it blended. Now that we're finishing up, we do not have a lot more to do. I'm gonna go on to my eyebrows. One thing about me is that I do not like to repurchase brow products. I don't feel like buying an eyebrow pencil every month or every 3 weeks. Eyeshadow, because it is a powder, is also very forgiving. So I like that if I make a mistake with my eyeshadow, it's pretty easy to fix it. I apologize, you could not see what I was doing just then. Done in like 3 seconds. It's literally just like coloring. I see my eyebrow shape, so I just color it in. Same thing on this side. If you guys have any videos in particular that you would like me to do, please let me know down in the comments. I pretty much just do whatever I want to do, and then I'll just film whatever I want to, whatever comes to my mind, and also whatever fits in with my schedule. But if you have any particular looks, any ideas, products, tutorials, anything like that at all, I'm willing to do it. So just let me know in the comments. That's pretty much my eyebrows. I'm taking a kind of like bronzer color shade. Just taking a little brown shade and putting that on my eyelid. For my brown eyes, I think one thing that makes them look pretty is whenever I use brown eyeshadow or brown liner. Another thing that is very unique and custom to you is eyeliner. Just like how nose contour is unique depending on your nose shape, eyeliner is unique depending on your eye shape, and I like a pretty straight eyeliner. Now that we are all done with that, I'm just going to do my eyelashes really quickly, starting by curling them. I have literally no eyelashes at all, so I really have to work to make them look good. I always use 2 mascaras. One just to coat my eyelashes and to kind of give like a base. And then I'll use the second one to actually make my eyelashes look longer. Oh my gosh, wow, why do I actually look a little bit pretty? Okay, and that's what we are looking like. I'm not going to add my lipstick for a while just because I'm not leaving for work until like 20 minutes from now. And I like to do it at the very end. I'm probably going to eat something before I go into work. I'll show you my hairstyle real quick. I saw this on Pinterest. I just did a little twist right here and then did the braid. And then I can also show you guys my work outfit. As a host, it is a really chill, laid back. We don't really have a very specific outfit that we have to wear. We just have to wear non-slip shoes. We have to wear black slacks and then whatever kind of top we want to, like a dressy top to go with the black slacks. But this is the finished makeup look minus the lipstick. I really like it. I think it looks super pretty. I just love to use brown eyeliner for me, and I love eyeliner as a whole because I think it just makes me look so girly and pretty and feminine. I just think eyeliner does a lot for my face, so I'm very excited. I will show you guys the finished outfit and look once I'm getting ready to head to work. Okay guys, so I am literally like running almost late, but here is the finished look. I put on some lipstick, but here's the work fit. Just wearing a sweater because they freeze us to death. Black pants, and then here is the ugly shoe reveal, y'all. This is disgusting! Disgusting! I'm so scared. Why are they so big and bulky and ugly? Like, look at them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you. See you next time. Subscribe.